right.
Not usually
Very
you,
good.
Robin.
It's good seeing all of you. I wasn't here last week because my upstate synagogue actually had their first live service. We were in the town hall.
Unmuted. Okay.
We all was socially distanced. Everyone was in synagogue, but it was really nice to be outside and see everybody again. That was beautiful.
Good Shabbos, everybody.
Good Shabbos,
Shabbos,
Mickey.
Mickey. Shabbos.
So here is our prayer book. We are ready to begin our Shabbat service. So I'm going to mute everybody once again, just for the sake of ambient sounds that can be difficult. Welcome to everyone who just came in. Welcome to anyone who is joining us on YouTube. Let's just take a moment. Let's just take a moment to enter into the spirit of Shabbat. If you'd like to close your eyes, if you'd like to take a deep breath. If things have been feeling stressful, see if you can let go of some of that for right now. And in this month of Elul, this preparation month, we begin to open up our hearts for repentance and for self-awareness. But before we slip too quickly into the season of the soul, let there be a Sabbath of Sabbaths for the heart. Before the music of creation's majesty, let there be silent praise of existence. Before the feast of sanctified words, let there be a poetry of solitude. Before we enter the palaces of prayer, let us find within ourselves a place of calm. Before we revel in the wondrous and sublime, let there be an honest inward gaze. Before the rites and ceremonies of awe, let there be quieter days, an island of attentiveness. So that's now. And we come to the candle blessing, and it's really my pleasure and my honor today to introduce to you, if you have not yet met them, Dr. Gail Levine Freed and Bob Freed. They are just joining the temple now. And so it's a great pleasure to welcome them. And we are going to ask them to do the honors of the blessings over the candles and the wine. So Gail, would you like to take it away? Would you like to do this little reading here first, or?
Sure. The reading.
Can you-
I honor the gift of stillness and rest, a day devoted to peace, peace within my soul. On this day, I have everything I need, peace with those around me. On this day, I seek no quarrel or strife, peace of earth and sky, green trees, and quiet water. I give thanks that I am present in this world. I celebrate the miracle of existence, the breath within me, the beating of my heart, the love that blesses my life. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech olam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. Amen.
Amen.
And for the Kiddush, Bob, would you read it for us in English?
Sure. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who finding favor with us, sanctified us with mitzvot. In love and favor, you made the Holy Shabbat our heritage as a reminder of the work of creation. As first among our sacred days, it recalls the exodus from Egypt. You chose us and set us apart from the peoples. In love and favor, you have given us your holy Shabbat as an inheritance. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu l'shabbat kodsho b'ahava v'ratzon hilhilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehilal mikrai kodesh zeichel etziat Mitzrayim ki vanu v'chata v'tanu kidashta mikol ha'amim b'shabbat kodshecha b'ava v'ratzon hinachaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
Thank you, Gail and Bob, and our heartiest welcome to the congregation. Bruchim habaim. Two angels follow me home, chesed and gevura, kindness and judgment, love and discipline. May both dwell within me, gentleness and generosity that expand my soul, firmness and self-restraint, the strength to say no. On this day of shalom, may I be shalem, well-balanced and whole. We continue with Lecha Dodi, beloved, come with me to meet the Shabbat bride.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat lekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat lekabela. Shalom v'zachor b'dibor echad, ishmi anu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem u'letiferet v'litihila, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, likrat Shabbat nechoven elcha, ki mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof maaseh b'makshava tehila, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kivore komi ori, 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 shir daberi kevod Adonai, alayich דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת פעלה, גם בשמחה וצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Lai 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 la lai 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 la lai la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Let's be seated. If you choose, please read with me. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
Ahavat olam bid Yisrael, Amecha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbenu, uvkumenu nasiach b'chokecha, v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki hem chayenu, v'orech yamenu, ובהם נגי יום ולילה, נגי יומם ולילה. באהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל.
We prepare for the Shema with open up our eyes.
Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברתם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
If you choose, please read with me. Eternal, watch over my small domain of light and shadow, those few people who share my love, and all others upon this earth that sometimes shakes with thunder and reverberates with lightning. Help us to live with fear and conquer rage, heal the hate that makes us kill, and covers the ground with this Red Sea that only you can part, so we may all walk through the wilderness to your realm of peace, where all men and women are one, and sing your blessed name.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך רוב עליך, בקי היום לפני משה מרים, זיליאנו ואמרו, זיליאנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יאללה לי 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 לי, יאללה לי 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 לי, יאללה לי 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 לי, לי 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 לי.
ונאמר כי יפדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Bless our sleep with peace, Adonai, and awaken us to life when we rise. With power sublime, spread over us your shelter of shalom, and through your wisdom restore us, make us whole. Let your name proclaim your presence in our lives, be our shield, make us stronger than the enemies we face, illness and war, famine and sorrow, and stronger than the enemies in our hearts, wickedness and sin. Carry us to safety as on wings, for you are the monarch of grace, the sovereign of compassion. You are the one who cares for us and sets us free. Watch over us, we who go forth to life. Watch over us that we may come home in peace now until the end of time. Baruch atah Adonai, hapurei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed One, you spread over us a canopy of peace, a shelter of shalom over all Israel, your people, and over Jerusalem. V'shamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We come to the tefillah, and I invite you, if you choose and if you're able, to rise.
Adonai, Sefatai tiftachu fi tehillatcha. Eternal God, open up my lips and my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohi avoteinu v'imoteinu, Elohi Avraham, Elohi Yitzchak, v'Elohi Yaakov, Elohi Sarah, Elohi Rivka, Elohi Leah, Elohi Rachel, Ha'el Hagdol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdevot V'Imot, U'Mivii Geola Livnei V'Nehem, L'mon Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer, Moshiach U'Magin. Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, Bizrat Sarah. Atagi bol olam Adonai, Michayei hakol atarav lehoshia, Morit hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Michayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somek noflim v'rafeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayim emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha bal givurot, Umidom melach, Melech memit umechayei, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Bnei manat alachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Michayei hakol, Ata kadosh, V'shemcha kadosh, U'kedoshim bechol yom, Yahlelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Let's be seated. Please read with me if you choose. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. We come now to Hoda'ah, our prayer of gratitude. And so if you have something that you'd like to share that you're feeling grateful for this evening, you may type it into the chat, or you may raise your hand electronically, which if you hover over your face, I think you might have the option of raising your hand if you would like to speak, but you can type it into the chat as well. I'll begin. I'd like to express gratitude for Gail and Bob and the fact that they have chosen to join us and become part of the Bishert family. And also, I would like to say that I am grateful to see Monica Byers' face, which I have not seen in a very long time. And Monica has been joining us with her phone, but she could only listen before. But now she has a camera and she can see us. And I'm very grateful for that. And Monica, I'm just going to say you are already doing great with the Zoom. And you'll be an expert in no time. And you're holding up your hands. Okay, what would you like to share?
I'd like to say that I am extraordinarily grateful to be here with all of you and to actually be able to see you and speak to you. It's really wonderful. I never thought I would enjoy doing this, but you don't have to bother getting all dressed up. You don't have to look for a place to park. You're not looking at the back of other people's heads during most of the service. You actually get to see their faces. I think it's great. So I thank you very much, and thank you so much for your welcome. I very much appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Monica. It's good to have you here. So Alan Zaro says grateful that cousins in Houston were not affected by the storm. That is indeed something to be grateful for. Robert Rothman is grateful for medical specialists. Diane Shanker, who also has not been on the Zoom for all that long, I think. And so it's wonderful to have you here as well, Diane. You are grateful that your great-granddaughter, Charlotte Ray Shanker, visited on Wednesday, and she even brought her parents. How old is great-granddaughter Charlotte Ray Shanker? Let's see, I'm looking for Diane. There she is. Diane, can you just hold up fingers if you don't want to unmute? Or you can unmute and tell us how old Charlotte Ray Shanker is. And is she named after Charlotte Russell? Possibly not. All right. Robin, why don't you go ahead?
I'm unmuted.
Oh, okay, Diane.
She's 2.5 and knows her numbers and her letters and her pictures. She's just brilliant.
That's wonderful. It sounds like she is an absolute genius.
At least.
And I find the name Charlotte to be a very auspicious one.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Diane. Okay, Robin, go ahead.
Okay, I'm very grateful for all the people who reached out to me, the text, the Facebook responses, the phone calls. It made me feel really good to have everybody, check in with me. I appreciate it a great deal.
Thank you, Robin. Catherine Hasslinger says, well, thank you, Catherine. She says, grateful to Rabbi for creating this space of peace and gratitude with and for all of us. Catherine, I'm grateful that you're here as well. Karen Kramer says, I'm grateful for the temple and for this beautiful service. Gail and Bob Levine Fried say, we finally got to Manhattan today to see dear friends. Yeah. And Linda Kushner Silverman says, my recovery from stomach and knee replacement surgery. She didn't get her stomach replaced, just her knee. She had stomach surgery and knee replacement surgery, and that's going well. AAA came quickly and I drove my car after many months. It sounds like your car stopped running and AAA had to come. Yes, but they came quickly and you went for a drive. Excellent. Emma Rose Tuttleman Kriegler says, I am grateful to be celebrating Shabbat freely as a Jew. Absolutely. So anybody else? Seeing none, I will say Modim Anachnu Lach. We are grateful for all of those things, and I'm sure for many more things than we mentioned out loud or in the chat. So for all these gifts, God of majesty, may your name come to be blessed and praised, our gratitude a daily offering until the end of time. And may all life resound with gratitude and faith in praise of your name. God, you free us and strengthen us. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'el lehodot. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose goodness deserves thanks and praise. And we continue with our prayer for peace, peace in our homes and in our hearts and in our world.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol shalom, shalom rav, al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom rav, al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם.
Baruch atah Adonai hamivarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. And now we come to the portion of our service where we pray quietly, and we can use, there's words on the screen if you can see that, but we can always use the words inside our own hearts. We continue quietly.
יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי lefanecha. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, vegoli, vegoli.
May the words of our mouths and the meditations in our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O God, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. We turn our thoughts now to those among us and those in our hearts who are ill and who are in need of healing of body, of mind, or of spirit. If you have names that you have not sent into the office that you would like to share, you may put those into the chat. And also, I'll give you an opportunity if you want to unmute yourselves and say the names aloud. We hold in our thoughts and in our hearts for healing this evening, Jesse Sakharov, Ronnie Turek, Ira Weiss, Elaine Drucker, Alan Fremer, Susan Bilecki, Andrew Mazzella, Michael Luck, Barry Strumpf, Selma Carl, Jacqueline Halpern, Sherry Wiseman, Gigi Bias, Brendan Bias, Margot Bias, Suzanne Leknos, Mel Lipton, Linda Kushner Silverman, Esther Bat Lucy, Bruce Lumish, Marilyn Broadbar, Joellen Fox, Barbara and Irv Weiner, Andy Glansman, Ira and Deanna Roth, Ellie Heinrich, Phyllis O'Neill, Marcy Babiatsky, Shirley Amrani, Sue Ann Fishkin Horowitz, Della Cohen, Susan Shoro, Iris Merlis, May Sun Lei, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Gittel Bina Batyakov, Eddie DeAngelis, Nettie Trommer, Mia Gannon, Vicky Lightmaker, Dolores Weinberger, Ingrid Grosso, Roberta Gotthelf, Audrey Cohen, Fran Sisler, Ruth Ryback, Harumi Rhodes, Hiroko Yajima, Bert Migdal, Haley Migdal, Lotta Bloom, Roberta Hayrath, Moshe Ber Ben Saratova, Riva and David Cohen, Laser Ben Lillian, Myra Canal, Liz Yasuda, Park Shing Lam, Richard Zagam, Mark Steiner, Paul Steiner, Monica Bayer, Patty and Erwin Cohen, Marian Mandel, Mimi Karp, John Carfisi, Francis O'Haron, Orlando Aiello, Ali Weissman, Julie Cicero, Mark Cicero, Kate Roach, Christina Leknos, Harold and Jane Gleiberman, Robin Bass, Sandy Miller, and Jacob Blake. And I would like to invite you now to add other names in the chat. We include Joshua Cohen, Palia Cohen, Richard Averbach, Freya Kashmir, Delphine Wolf, Rebecca Rothstein, Bambi Polk, Marion McGivney, Inga Probetsky, Suzanne Mishler Hernandez, and Elliot Wolfsey. Who else has a name that they would like to add? Judith?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, Stacy, David, Julia, Lauren, Mauser, Hannah Paines, and Irene National. Thank you.
Robin? We can't hear you, Robin.
Oh.
Now I heard you.
I was my daughter Diana, who did something to her knee and has been in a great deal of pain for about 2 weeks now. So I'm hoping that the pain goes away soon.
Thank you. Linda Kushner.
Jackson Kushner, Tara Kushner, Camille McGinnis, Shelley Samet. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, Bobby and Dean Baumgarten, David and Marilyn Bader, and Sam Sarfati. Anybody else? Did I see someone else with a hand up? Okay, I think that's everyone.
All those in need of healing, including us.
Thank you, Steve. So I will add to that all of those who are currently suffering from COVID-19, those who are suffering from the measures that are in place to slow the spread of COVID-19, those who have been hurt in the recent derecho in Iowa and the hurricane that has been hitting Louisiana and Texas, Hurricane Laura, all of those who have been hurt in the recent protests, and those who have been harmed in other kinds of disasters, both natural and human created. We pray for
May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikor abracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I am greeting you from the sanctuary. Do you buy it? Yes, okay. Yeah, I'm not actually in the sanctuary, but I got it.
It looks absolutely great.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's supposed to hopefully give the feel of the sanctuary, despite the fact that I'm not actually in the sanctuary. So it's a little bit of an experiment, but I'm very pleased with it, actually. But I am in my home, as I so often am these days, and I imagine you are so often in your homes these days too. And because I don't live alone, I am spending more time than usual, I would say, with my family, my immediate family. And of course, we are all aware of the reasons why this is. At the moment, there's 5 of us living in the house, my husband, Mike, and me, 2 19-year-old college students, which feels weird to say, and a 15-year-old who is entering 11th grade. Now, if you live with teens, or if you ever lived with teens, or if you remember when you were a teen, perhaps the following exchange will sound familiar. Teenager: I wanted to make something to eat, but the pan was dirty. Me: you know, you could have washed it. Teenager: but I'm not the one who got it dirty. And scene. Have any of you experienced something like that? Perhaps you have. Perhaps that sounds familiar. I see some people nodding. I see some people going, oh, of course not, with great sarcasm. So never mind that as a mom, I've spent a significant portion of my life cleaning up messes that I didn't make. What I try to explain to the child is that a household is a community, and we make it better when we clean up generally and contribute and help each other out, regardless of who made a specific mess. In this week's Parsha, Ki Tetzeh, we read, "If you see your fellow Israelites' ox or sheep gone astray, do not ignore it. You must take it back to your peer. If your fellow Israelite does not live near you, or you do not know who the owner is, you shall bring it home, and it shall remain with you until your peer claims it, and then you shall give it back. You shall do the same with that person's garment, and so too shall you do with anything that your fellow Israelite loses and you find. You must not remain indifferent." We are also told to get involved if we see someone in trouble. If you see your fellow Israelites' donkey or ox fallen on the road, do not ignore it. You must raise it together. So what really stands out to me in these passages are these two exhortations. Do not ignore it, and you must not remain indifferent. When you live in a community, if you see someone in trouble and you have the power to help, you have to help. Here in Brooklyn, there are some neighborhoods, blocks, or even buildings that really do function as communities. People look out for each other and they help each other out. In other places, also in Brooklyn, people don't really know their neighbors at all, or they only know some of their neighbors, or they only know the neighbors who are like them. I think, and I hope, that the coronavirus pandemic has brought us to a greater understanding of the way that our behavior impacts others, and has emphasized the importance of behaving in a community-minded way. Our country has a really strong emphasis on individualism. And in some cases, that has turned into individual entitlement. I get to make my choice for myself, and its impact on you is not my problem. There's viral videos, which you may have seen, of people refusing to put on a mask and then arguing when they're not allowed to enter a store without one. So these videos are an example of people who think they should be able to do what they want, what they choose for themselves, regardless of its impact on others. Needless to say, not community-minded. Like so many aspects of Judaism and life in general, there's a tension between two principles here, both of which are good in moderation and bad in excess. So caring for others in the community is certainly a virtue, but if you only care for others and never for yourself, you can do harm to yourself. Taking care of yourself and your needs is also a virtue, but if that becomes all you care about, you can do harm to others and to the community as a whole. I'm not sure what we're seeing more of in the United States these days. There are both things happening. We're seeing both great self-entitlement and bad behavior because of it. And we're also seeing great altruism and people really stepping up to help other people. As our first century sage Hillel said, "If I am not for myself, who will be for me? If I'm only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when?" The Torah requires us to do things that can be unpleasant or inconvenient. If you see someone whose donkey has fallen on the road, our equivalent might be someone with a flat tire, what must you do? The Torah says, stop, take time out of your day and help. If you find a lost animal, the Torah says, and the owner doesn't live nearby, you have to take it home and take care of it until the owner comes to get it. That's not a small thing. But even though we didn't create that situation of that lost animal, we are required to help. Even if you didn't get the pan dirty, maybe you should wash it. We wear masks over our noses and mouths in public to protect others more than to protect ourselves. And we may not enjoy it. It may be uncomfortable or inconvenient. Personally, I hate wearing a mask. I hate it a lot. It's really hot. It's really uncomfortable, but I do it because you got to do it. And the same thing applies to other measures that we're taking to try to get this virus under control. Despite all of the news of people displaying lack of caring for others, as I mentioned earlier, we know that many, many people are helping other people. They're sharing vegetables from their gardens because a lot more people are gardening than used to garden. They're baking bread and giving it to people because a lot more people are baking bread than used to bake bread. They're going grocery shopping for each other. They're giving each other time or food or comfort. So let us consider what our obligations are today to our community, how we can build and sustain strong ties with our neighbors, how we can work together for justice, how we can help each other. May this time of hardship be a catalyst for pulling together and building stronger communities rather than pulling apart into each person for themselves. May we also value our congregational community and every person in it, and may our participation in Beshert be one of our sources of strength, joy, and comfort. Amen and Shabbat Shalom.
We are embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, 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 loved by unending love and unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled, as are the arms, the fingers, the voices, as are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, 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 loved by unending love and unending love.
Our mission is to plant ourselves at the gates of hope, not the prudent gates of optimism, which are somewhat narrower, nor the stalwart, boring gates of common sense, nor the strident gates of self-righteousness, which creak on shrill and angry hinges. People cannot hear us there. They cannot pass through. Nor the cheerful, flimsy garden gate of everything is gonna be all right, but a different, sometimes lonely place of truth-telling about your own soul, first of all, and its condition, the place of resistance and defiance from which you see the world both as it is and as it could be, as it will be, the place from which you glimpse not only struggle, but joy in the struggle. And we stand there, beckoning and calling, telling people what we're seeing, asking them what they see. I invite you to rise for the Aleinu if you choose and if you're able.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגופי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר היה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Let's be seated. We turn our thoughts now to those who are no longer with us, our loved ones who have died in the past days or weeks or months, or in past years at this time of the year. I invite you, if you have names to add for the Mourner's Kaddish, to put them into the chat if you did not send them into the office. And I am looking for, there it is. Here is our yahrzeit list. Make sure it all fits. So please put names into the chat and I'll give you a chance to say names out loud as well. We remember those who have died in the past year. Michaela Schaefer, Helen Zegerman-Schwimmer, Ido Sheffi, Elaine Gordet, Stephen Kamholtz, Carol Gross, Carol Andre, Robert Serpico, Jeanette Riley, Melvin Barish, William Lamp, Ina Sandals, Martin Shankin, Solomon Tettelbaum, Howard Jankelowitz, Sean Singer, Jeff Harris, Sammy Berger, Rabbi Kenneth Roseman, Chaim Braunzweig, Harry Baylor, Ben Schaefer, Shirley Hyatt Tobias, Myron Klein, Ted Tobias, Rita Belay, Jay Jankelowitz, Sandy Gannon Abel, David Ribbler, Bess Newman, Buzz Lorch, Benjamin Binyamin Elwood, Edward Albino, Joseph Davis, Jerry Charon, Gary Zeitlin, Sean Devlin, David Levy, Lenny Drucker, Beverly Tredinick, Evelyn Pincus, Rita Spiro, Beatrice BJ Jacobs, Melvin Jurgrau, Gloria Katzen, Lorraine Elner, Amanda Corwin. On our yahrzeit list this week are Sarah Davis Gottlieb, Mona Goldberg's mother, Milton Charles Drucker, Elliot Drucker's brother, Judith Ehrlichman, Alan Zarrow's mother, Robert Feinberg, Barbara Wasserman's brother, Carl Glantzman, Pam Glantzman's father, Alan Kay, Maddie Kay's husband, Louis Liss, George Liss's father, and Sharon Moss, Charlotte Russell's niece. We also include Selma Gold, Leatrice Langer, Judy Jablonski, and Howard Etzen. Does anyone else have names that they would like to add for the Mourner's Kaddish?
Lila Riemann,
Thank you, Ruth. Anyone else? Alan, Zaro.
This actually tomorrow, and you were so kind to mention it all of that time. It's the second anniversary of my uncle Arthur Zaro, and a very close colleague from John Down High School, Bruce Bitterman, just passed away this week.
Anybody else? Linda Kushner Silverman. You have to unmute.
Rochelle Cohen.
Also Ruth Turk. Anybody else? Okay. Seeing no others. We also include all of those who have died around the world from various causes, whether the Dericho or the hurricanes or the protests or war or famine or terror or other disasters, or alone and homeless on the streets of our cities. I invite you to participate in the Mourner's Kaddish according to your own tradition. If you don't have your own tradition with regard to the Kaddish, I invite you to rise if you're able and join in. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, b'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemei dekudasha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran b'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to the bereaved wherever they may be. And let us say, amen. Let's be seated.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru v'imru amen. Yaseh shalom shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
A few announcements before we conclude. Tomorrow morning at 9:45, I will be facilitating B'Yachad, followed by services at 11. So that Zoom link went out yesterday. It is a different link than last week because Rabbi Pinsky and I are alternating leading Saturday mornings, and so we each have our own Zoom account, whatever. You don't need to know the logistics, but use the link from this week's email, please, if you would like to join that. Of course, the service will also be on YouTube at beshert.org/services/live. As I mentioned at the beginning of the service, behind me, there is a backdrop. It is actually a physical thing. It's a physical tapestry that I had custom made in as a way to try to set up a sanctuary in my home. Since it looks so nice and only was $35, I ordered 2 more of them for Rabbi Pinsky and Noni, although Noni's only just finding that out right this very minute. So we'll be able to simulate the idea that all of us are in the sanctuary for the high holidays. And I think it might work. I think it could be successful. So I was trying it out tonight. I'm feeling good about it. So there's that. Let's see what else. I actually don't know if there's Torah study on Tuesday. I think you might be taking a break from Torah study.
Yes.
Now I've said two things so that some of you are not.
It is a break, Rabbi. It's a break. Rabbi, it's a break for a month. We'll come back the beginning of October.
Okay, so there it is. Tuesday Torah study will resume at the beginning of October. On Friday nights, for 2 more Friday nights, I'm going to be continuing the Elul writing exploration. It is not too late to join in. It's not exactly like for those who are participating every week, it might be cumulative, but it's not cumulative. Like it doesn't have to be cumulative. So each of them can stand by itself, and you're welcome to still come. That's at 7 o'clock next Friday night, and also the following Friday night, which will take us right up to, oh my goodness, Rosh Hashanah is the 3rd week. I have a lot to do. Anyway, so we're going to do 2 more of those, and that'll be very nice. Let's see. Does anybody know any other announcements? Like the honey fundraiser, is that done with? It's done with? Okay.
Cook-alongs.
What?
The cook-alongs.
Oh yeah, there's cook-alongs happening. Do you want to say something about that, Ellen?
Sure. We have 2 fantastic cooking interactive experiences themed to the High Holy Days and the festival holidays. The first is September 12th, and it's a Rosh Hashanah theme, and it's being led by Sharon Spellman. And on October 4th, we are going to have a Sukkot cook-along with Sol Radow. And invite your friends. Everybody is invited, whether you're members of the temple or not members. Bring everybody.
And it's free, right, Ellen?
And it's free, absolutely.
Right. So the drill is it's on Eventbrite, so you have to sign up for a ticket, but you don't have to pay any money for the ticket. And then you'll get a recipe with ingredients, and you provide the ingredients, and you'll be in your kitchen, and Sharon, and then at the other one, Saul will be in their kitchens, and they'll tell you what to do, and you can cook along. Hence cook along. Emma Rose is asking, what are we making? And I'm pretty sure that for Sharon's, it is apple cake and a fried Brussels sprouts with pomegranate molasses.
The very famous Tannerine restaurant. It's a fabulous recipe. And I have to see what Saul is doing, a zucchini casserole, and I can't get back on to see what else he's doing. I forgot. Oh, wait.
So there was an email that went,
There
emails
is, yeah.
that went out about it. And also if you just go to eventbrite.com and search on Beshert, you should find those events.
Oh, it's mushroom barley soup.
Oh, mushroom barley soup.
It's going to be great.
Okay. That sounds amazing. And the fact is, I'm pretty hungry right now. So, so it's appealing to me. So anything else coming up? Well, the high holidays are coming up. And so if you have people who want to come to the high holidays, there are tickets that are being sold. That's also on Eventbrite. If you go to the website, Mike, is there a link? If you go to beshert.org, there is a link for tickets. There are some free services, including both of the children's services on Rosh Hashanah and on Yom Kippur. And the second day of Rosh Hashanah also does not require payment. But for other services, we are asking people to make a donation because it costs money to run a synagogue is really the main reason. So I think that's it for right now. Noni, what would you like to close with?
Like last week, Od Yavo Shalom.
Okay. Let me just,
We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Odivo shalom aleinu, odivo shalom aleinu, odivo shalom aleinu, ve'al kulam. Odivo shalom aleinu, odivo shalom aleinu, odivo shalom aleinu, ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam, 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 aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, salam, shalom. Odivo shalom aleinu, odivo shalom aleinu, odivo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Odivo shalom aleinu, odivo shalom aleinu, odivo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha Shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine on you and be gracious to you. May God lift God's face towards you and give you peace. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.